Week on Thursday, the municipality of Eldoret became a city, and it is the latest city. Never mind, there has been a lot of stories coming from that side. But Senator, you're a member of the devolution committee. Senator Nyonka, is that so?
Yes, we went members of the devolution committee. The intent is well. And I really wish that Eldoret as a city becomes the great city that many people are expecting it to be. I only hope that Governor B will sit down. Like when we went there as a committee, we engaged him. One of the issues that came up, and the governor raised the issue, and we interrogated it, and we were really excited about. We were saying, look at the success of Eldoret in sports. Look at the success of Eldoret in its location. It's an area that is got most of its things are in place. So we were telling him that he now needs, and we mentioned that we were engaging back and forth. I really like the governor because he's always very open-minded. And one of the issues that has come up is that how can you make, for example, instead of every city in Kenya just wanting to be a city, can we make Eldoret become a sports city where Eldoret has got land, they can create housing development in the land which is available. The county government, we were told, has got about 10,000 acres of land. They can do stadia, they can put health facilities there, they can have a city that provides schools, even a sports university. I mean, we keep on doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. The reality is that a city like Eldoret, if we can take one of these mushrooming, funny universities being thrown all over, we get one university that is going to be a sports university, which teaches athletics, which teaches football, which teaches all this, because now you saw the Olympics. That is where the money is, and that is where the pride of the country is. And finally, I think as a city, one of the issues that we were informed, and it's important to be open-minded about this, Eldoret's success and its development and its growth as a city is going to be determined by whether the members of the county of Uasin Gishu are openly and sincerely going to have an open-minded approach into receiving people who are indigenously not from Eldoret, people who have lived there for the last 30 years, people, some of them who are moving to Eldoret who don't even know. In fact, the Gen Zs don't know the matrix between which community lives where and whatnot in Eldoret. I really hope that the community can embrace the non-indigenous residents of that county and make sure that they become part of the development, they become part of the growth, so that then Eldoret can go to the next level. But if they are going to take it, Sammy, and run it like one of these banana things we keep running around, where money is being stolen, where the governor, of course I've said Governor B has really impressed me as a person. I think he's a very calm person. If you talk to him, he's willing to accept new ideas, and I hope that he'll do something to make sure that his people get the dividend and the success of making Eldoret a city.
Senator Lekina, at the end of the day, and we had this discussion, I think, on Thursday night, cities, municipalities, whatever it is squarely about service to the people. What is it that counties that aspire to have cities within their municipalities or within their areas have to do to ensure that city status is not the end, but it's about the service?
Number one, let me start by, and I'm trying to refresh my memory, whether when we are amending the Urban and Cities Act of 2011 by 2019, and I think my colleague and I are in the Senate, whether we reduce the criteria of an urban area, of a municipality becoming a city. And I think if we did that mostly based for political purposes. I think your question, and if I'm to answer your question directly, the answer is provided in Section 5 of the 2011 Urban and Cities Act, Section 2011, where it says the city, the urban area, must demonstrate that it has got the residents of that area actively participate for the running of that city. Now, the question you ask about Eldoret is this. I know Eldoret is a city now that has been built by agriculture. The farmers build that. When we went there as a Senate in the last parliament, my brother was not there, those farmers took us to task when it comes to the issue of maize. You know, why are we just playing lip service? And they're suffering. So the question now is this. Is the Uasin Gishu County and Eldoret City, is it able to raise enough revenue to be able to provide sewer services? Is it able to provide free water to all its residents? Is it able to build their roads? If you talk about them being able to raise their own money, how much of that money are they being able to raise as a city? So I think we've got to look at this thing holistically again, where we look at our constitution. I think it's Article 202, in terms of the taxes that can be raised by county government vis-a-vis the taxes that can be raised by the national government. If we really want to improve and uplift our urban areas into cities, we may need to relook at the constitution. Because I think I'm trying to remember the article in the constitution that led to an act of parliament being established, because this is all anchored in the constitution, whereby when we come up with legislation, we must make sure that we, first of all, when we talk about this city being able to raise enough capital, is $1 billion shillings enough to be able to provide all those services? Because I think in the last financial statements of Eldoret municipality, they raised about 900 million. So is that enough to be able to provide water? Is that enough to be able to provide street lighting? Is that enough to be able to provide fire services? Extinguishing fire department.
What is your opinion? Is it or is it not?
In my view, it is not.
But Senate,
I give because of the role played by the farmers. The farmers played a critical role. They built it. The infrastructure in that municipality, now city, has all been funded by farmers. So I think if we're able to really now focus on the criteria and then help the governor be able to raise more revenue and more accountability, then that city will be able to succeed. Because if you ask me, in Nairobi here, as an example, is this capital city able to raise money? It is able to raise money. Are there challenges? Yes, there are challenges. In fact, if you were to ask me, the next city, which is just within these boundaries of Nairobi, should be Ruiru. Look at the population. The population is one of the criteria. It's got over 250,000 people.
Yes.
So really, let's look at the services.
All right.
Garbage collection. Very basic services, garbage collection. Do you want to tell me now that if you go across the streets of Eldoret town, you will not find street lights which are not functional? So what I want to see Governor B do now is that...
So let me ask you, those the criteria that you're mentioning,
yes,
is it supposed to be considered before conferment, or once conferred you must now...
You have to sustain them. It's not that, you pull up your socks.
You sound like you want...
You pull up... I think it is now time for the governor to start now saying, we need to be able to improve these services and ensure that citizens of Eldoret City play a critical role in the building of that city.
All right. And of course, the first schedule of the Urban Areas and Cities Act provides what services that a city is supposed to provide. And it says that in classifying an area as a city, regard shall be had to the ability to provide the following services. There's a litany of so many, including pre-primary education, local distributor roads. There should be a university, a national school, a county school, a training institution, a polytechnic, constituent university campus or campuses, a stadium, a national stadium, international airport, airstrip, national theatre, and so many other services. Mheshimiwa Ruku, when you look at this criteria, what is the desire to have areas declared cities? And have you seen one in your county of Embu?
Some to declare a city, a law must be followed, and you have cited this law very clearly. What I didn't hear from my brother senator is that the conferment of the city status is done by the president on the resolution of the Senate. Resolution of the Senate. And that's why we saw Speaker Kingi in Eldoret at the center of the conferment process to city status to Eldoret. Of course, many parameters need to be considered as per the act for any town or municipal, whatever, or to be a city. Yep. Of course, in my area, I would want to see Embu town one day as a city. I don't know when, but is it meeting the criteria set by this act? And for now, I think the answer is no. When I look at the...
That's because of the services or population?
From population to, for instance, the criteria for classifying an area as a city. That's Section 5 of the Urban Area and the Cities Act. There are quite a number of conditions that you have to demonstrate the capacity to generate sufficient revenue to sustain its operations. When you look at the revenues which we are generating as a town in my county, it has not hit a billion mark.
Is it a municipality or just a town? Embu?
Embu is a town, but also a municipality, which extends from Manyata.
It cannot be both.
You see,
but it's fine. We'll find out.
I don't know whether it's a town, whether it's a municipality. It's neither here nor there. Some. What is important is we are looking at the criteria set aside by the Urban Area and Cities Act in terms of whether a town can become a city or not. I think Eldoret merit, even if you look at the infrastructure in place as far as Eldoret is concerned, it definitely merit to be a city. The population it should be over 250,000.
Yes.
Okay. So some of these requirements for Eldoret, from where I stand, I believe they were considered, and Eldoret as a town passed the mark to be a city.
All right.
This is the same case to Nairobi City, Mombasa City, Kisumu City, and we expect in future we will definitely have more cities. But one of the undoing, which probably the residents of Eldoret may not be aware, is that they will start paying rates, higher rates than the ones which they are paying at the moment.
All right. We're out of time. It's 3 minutes past 8 a.m. I want us to take a look at some feedback that has come to us. And this is K-Man official who is saying that the government should relook at this model, that is the university funding model. There's more than meets the eye. Suppose I am earning 120,000 shillings, but I have 4 students in various institutions, plus all the obligations they are in. The word that has come from the higher education department, as well as HELB and university funding, is that all this is being considered in the means testing formula that also looks at what is the spend of that family when it comes to financing education. Because it's important to note that it's work in progress, and so many queries coming in, and raises a lot of questions, especially on the provisions of Article 27 that talks about fairness at a time that there are conversations about laws that the courts have found unconstitutional, including the health laws that would affect the contributions to the health insurance scheme. This morning, we're expecting that the Supreme Court will be giving its ruling on the appeal against Finance Act 2023 decision that was made by the Court of Appeal. They'll be ruling on whether there should be a stay of that decision or it continues to run as it is. As it stands right now, no action has been taken by the government in as far as responding to the Finance Act 2023 decision by the Court of Appeal. At the same time, there was a decision by the High Court on the road maintenance levy that it should not be raised from 18 shillings to 25 shillings. No action has been taken by the government, including EPRA. So we'll watch and see what happens. Also this morning, we understand that Jimmy Wanjigi has arrived at the Milimani Law Courts. That's a story that we'll continue to follow for you to understand the charges that he'll be facing, which we understand that he's accused of holding firearms without a certificate. But for now, thank you so much, Senator Richard Onyonka from Kisii County, Mheshimiwa Geoffrey Ruku from Berry North, and Senator Lida Molekina from Narok County. All the best in the coming few hours, because we'll be at the Senate to hear the case, the defense of one governor of Meru County, that is Kawira Mwangaza. I'm told that before we break, we need to listen to Marianne